The crypto marketing machine never ceases. We've seen this in the past, but it's coming back again. What am I talking about? Wrapped BTC. Spoiler alert. Wrapped BTC doesn't exist, and I'm going to show you why. Welcome back, everybody. All right. So, as we all know, we're seeing the very peculiar movements of the Bitcoin fiat exchange. Excitement is in the air. Obviously, there's a lot of positive buzz, but at the same time, there's a lot of negative buzz, right, coming from the governments and people like Senator Elizabeth Warren that are demonizing crypto, right, and stuff like that. But in the middle of all of this noise, there's another type of noise, a noise that wants you to stake your Bitcoin. But more importantly, they want you to believe that it's not a shitcoin, but it is. So we got an article here out of a Daily Coin, how to earn more BTC with staking ahead of ETFs and halving. So this is all about inspiring, right? Inspiring the idea, again, and I've talked about this in the past, to make Bitcoin work for you. See, because right now, as you hold Bitcoin, it's not working for you. It's losing. And this is the perception. It's not actually losing. It's just, this is the perception that they want to create. Because as we know in our traditional markets, if our money is just sitting in a savings account, it's actually losing. It's not doing anything. You need to put your money to work. So the same logic applies here, right? And people are going to understand this. The average person is going to resonate with this and say, well, of course, I put my money to work. Why shouldn't I put my Bitcoin to work? Hold that thought. Bitcoin is going through a technological renaissance through ordinals, which brought NFTs and tokens to the chain. And now you might just be able to stake with Bitcoin. Ordinals, all of that stuff. None of this stuff is, it's not investments. It's not a savings vehicle. It's not even really adoption. Okay, because it's a completely separate system. Now, I'm not talking about inscriptions, right? Inscriptions are actually they're actually on the Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. Ordinals is a separate third-party system, essentially like an index, which allows you to index the image to the Satoshis, right? So it knows, hey, this sat is this image. It's a complete third-party system that has no actual value, and as we saw, ordinals just fell off a cliff, right? The Taproot wizards. Gone. So you guys will see that as I read through this article, what is happening is that they're implanting an idea in your mind, right? That you're putting your Bitcoin to work, and it's going to be safe because it's using the Bitcoin network for its security. And we've heard this bullshit before, which I'll explain after, because we've seen other projects that essentially claim to be building on Bitcoin, but here's my shitcoin, like RSK and Stacks. Anyways, let's continue. Here we go. Isn't Bitcoin mined with proof of work? Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency that pioneered proof of work mining. And unlike Ethereum, it has no plans of switching to proof of stake. Oh, bad. That's right. You're not innovating and upgrading. A newer consensus model that is seen as less wasteful and more effective in guaranteeing the blockchain security. That is complete fucking bullshit. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Proof of stake, all it does is reward and enrich the people that have the most coins on the network. Okay, number one. Number two, specifically with Ethereum, this was pre-mined. Okay, 70% of Ethereum is pre-mined. So it doesn't even make a difference. The ETH Foundation holds the majority of it. So this ridiculous idea that proof of stake is somehow safer is wrong. Proof of work is the safest and encourages the proper incentives and competition on the network, whereas proof of stake encourages the complete opposite. It encourages collusion. It encourages coercion. Very, very different. Now, keep in mind, right? It's the narrative. Unless something truly dramatic happens, this part of Bitcoin will never change. Instead, some projects are looking to use BTC as an asset to secure other projects with staking. So just think about it, right? They just finished telling you how wasteful BTC is, but keep in mind, They want your business. So it's like, well, wait a second. You know, we're not saying it's all bad. We're going to use BTC to support the security of our staking project. Why don't you just use BTC? Because they all want their own kingdom. Okay, people are obsessed with this, just having your own kingdom. This is the vision behind Babylon. Wonderful name. I'm sure it wasn't chosen for a specific reason. A BTC restaking protocol. The idea is that other chains, including Cosmos, Ethereum, and others, would be using Babylon to secure their chain with BTC. What's unique about Babylon is that it's a fully native protocol, meaning that you don't need to bridge your BTC anywhere else, which is usually a centralized process. Instead, Babylon uses some clever cryptographic tricks to keep the critical bits on Bitcoin. That just sounds like words. It's just words. Babylon is currently in testnet. Here we go. This is the tease, guys. This is the tease. So right now, the products that are out there, they're okay. They're not great, but we've got this thing that's coming out. Babylon is currently in testnet, so it can't be used to stake Bitcoin just yet. But with mainnet launch slated for the summer of 2024, there's your timeline. It might just be out in time to capture the meat of the potential post-halving moves. And there you go, right? This is priming you for when this product comes out. BTC staking is otherwise impossible right now. But don't worry, they're going to offer you a solution. Look, you can earn yield on it. Here's how. So I want you guys to think about this, right? This article has just painted a picture of making your Bitcoin work for you, giving you essentially terrible advice, okay, about a product that doesn't exist, and then introducing actual shitcoins right now. Anyways, this is terrible. Let's dive into it. Here we go. DeFi staking, decentralized finance on Ethereum, and other chains offer some opportunities to earn yield on BTC. A good example is WBTC, or what they call wrapped BTC, yielding 0.3% APY. These tokens are Bitcoin wrappers on Ethereum. In other words, they are just some shitcoin that pretends to be Bitcoin or pretends to have Bitcoin-like qualities while being an ERC20 token. That's all that is. Meaning that they follow BTC price 1-to-1, similar to how a stablecoin follows the USD 1-to-1. The yield comes from swap fees between these wrappers and extra incentives from Curve. There are other options like BNB Chain and Interlay for staking Bitcoin in DeFi. It is possible to find higher yield, especially when you accept to dilute the BTC into another asset. But it's important to remember that all of these carry the risk of the BTC wrapper failing to do its job. Staking in earnings programs. These programs will rehypothecate the BTC. So for the people who don't remember what happened, right, with Celsius and BlockFi, just to name two, the borrowers pay a yield for the privilege, which is distributed to earn stakers. The terms are usually simple, though. There may be some deposit lockup periods. Here, you're facing risk from the platform failing to deliver the BTC back, which did happen with other providers like BlockFi and Celsius, which I just mentioned. There are several other exchanges and platforms offering these services today, potentially with higher yields, but also higher implied risks, unfortunately. And this is, again, it's all just a marketing campaign. Unfortunately, until options for native BTC staking like Babylon come along, native yield opportunities with Bitcoin will be limited. Okay, so let's just quickly go take a look at this. There was a white paper for this thing. I'm going to put a light paper, they called it. And I'm going to put this link in the show notes so you guys can go take a look at this Babylon thing. And in the meantime, right? In the meantime, I'm not going to go through this whole entire light paper. I just wanted to go take a look at the references. Okay, just take a look at the references. So you can see right here, right? We've got RSK, we've got Stacks, you've got Vitalik about all of his proof of stake work multiple times cited for this. So here we go. We got some more. We got Rootstock, all right, which is RSK, right? Which is essentially Dan Held is one of the investors, right? We're building on Bitcoin. Here's the shitcoin. And then, of course, down here, the wrapped BTC Bitcoin white paper. Now, wrapped BTC. Who owns wrapped BTC, right? Because you're just thinking it's like, right? It's Bitcoin that's wrapped on Ethereum. Like, there's no such thing as that. So here's an excerpt out of an article that I had tweeted out last month, and here we go. I said, hey, there's no such thing as wrap BTC. You just need to believe there is, so you can be marketed to. And to me, that is absolutely correct. This doesn't mean that BitGo doesn't have any control over WBTC. In fact, it holds all of the control over WBTC, in that if it ever manages to lose the native BTC collateral via hack, bankruptcy, or any other malady you can imagine, the WBTC tokens will become worthless. That is a central point of failure, guys. Therefore, BitGo must be trusted to remain solvent, honest, and principled. So you are trusting this entity to keep wrapped BTC alive. Now, does that sound like any of the qualities of Bitcoin? So essentially, the way that it works, and this is another tweet that I had put out that same day, was send Bitcoin to BitGo. BitGo issues shitcoin it created and controls called WBTC on ETH. Conclusion, a wrapped Bitcoin does not exist. And no, it doesn't. So look, guys, we are at that point. All right. It's like I said at the beginning, we're gearing up to the bull market, and some people, right? Some organizations realize, hey, wait a second, people are getting hungry, right? They want some type of positive activity, and lo and behold, here come the marketing teams bringing you absolute garbage that is not Bitcoin. When I looked over this Babylon light paper, I didn't see anything about another token. I'm still reading through it, and again, I'm not saying that to validate what it is. I'm just explaining that there's different ways of doing this, and the truth of the matter is, from my perspective, is that if you have to send your Bitcoin anywhere, or you have to somehow lose part of the control, for example, like in a multi-sig with a third party, and I understand that there are third parties, right, that offer, multi-sig services, and of course, you are giving up part of your control to use their service. That to each their own. But when it comes to the shitcoins specifically, okay, when it comes to the shitcoins, it is never actually Bitcoin. What they do always is they take your Bitcoin and they issue their own shitcoin to you that costed them absolutely nothing to make. So don't forget, Bitcoin is the only real asset, okay? And what these marketers need to do is they need you to believe that you are not doing as well as everyone else because you're not doing these other activities that could be yielding you more Bitcoin on your Bitcoin. Guys, it's a grift. Stay away. Anyways, let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. Like, subscribe. I will catch you guys all tomorrow.